Hey guys, it's Wartapes, and welcome to a game I never actually played on this channel because I thought I would ruin it. And today we are going to ruin it. The Stanley Parable.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
My name's War.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
No, I didn't.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
Well, that's kind of
Orders
what
came
YouTube
to
is,
him
but
through a
not
monitor
really.
on his desk, telling him what buttons to push,
YouTube
how long
comment
to
section.
push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Sometimes.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Hi.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Do I have to, though?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
That seemed like a really long-winded metaphor for Tumblr.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I'm fine with this ending. Oh shit.
When Stanley
Decisions.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
If I must.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
A broom closet. With a magical door that moves me.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
But there's wrenches, and a staple gun, and duct tape. Can we at least take the duct tape?
There was
Duct
nothing
tape.
here. No choice to make,
Oh, fuck
no
you.
path to follow, just an empty broom closet. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nah.
Stanley began screaming. "Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
A dead man.
He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Didn't even phone for a fucking ambulance. I'm alive! And I hate Mondays.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Yes. Oh wait, no.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No!
Make up your goddamn mind!
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right.
I'm slamming the head off a wall here.
Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Yes.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct?
Yes.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
My favorite song ever.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
What fern? That fern.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Leaves. Yes. Oh, going up. Oh, this is my floor.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I did it! Get elevator music here? No. Sad face. I like the elevator music. Adding my own.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Turn the music off. It's not turning off. Turn it off. Yep, there we go. I think I broke it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. Lights.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Action!
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
No, I bought contact lenses.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Do I have to? I mean, I could have it.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. but I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds.
Beaten.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees. First, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Dude, this music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Light bulb. More of my own personal elevator music. Oh. Keeps exploding on me.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So it's not America. Oh wait, no, it is America. True. Employee 293 is a seat.
So happy with his boring job that his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes.
No.
Wrong.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Well, I think Stanley's an atheist. Okay, game, whatever you say. I may have died.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
no one will tell me whatever to do.
his.
Okay, I've got that.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
You just contradicted yourself.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
And there.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
But not for long, he was a manic depressive.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Except I won't, because this is where I'm finishing the video. Okay guys, so this has been the Stanley Parable, and I'm not going to go any further because there's still things that I haven't done in this. If you haven't bought this already, why? Go buy it, now. It's probably on sale. It'll be on sale for the winter sales, that's almost a definite. Who wouldn't buy this game? Anyway, like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you want me to do more videos and tell me what videos to do, and subscribe. Because there's definitely a lot more videos coming this December. I'm going to take the door on the right. See you guys. Peace.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.